Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Irvine Valley Community College. This is meant to accompany Irvine Chapter 11, and this is a demo of, well, several things, and I'll go through what's here, but the idea of using handles for dealing with objects within the operating system. So this is the Windows API, and I want to focus here more on the handles. And let me just pop over here for a second. I'm in the performance view for the computer I'm on, and this part right here, handles. So a handle is for every single object that exists in the operating system running or active at the current moment. So it would mean like this window as a whole would be a handle. This graphic here would be a handle. These graphics here, each of them would be a handle. PowerPoint would be a handle. Everything is a handle. But the way that we deal with the Windows API is that we will do a number of, and I'll just go peek ahead here. So writing to the console would use a handle. Reading from the keyboard would use a handle. Creating a file will have a handle so that later when we write to it, we're using the handle. This file that I'm going to be demoing, this is the, well, there's only 2 demo files for this chapter. It's the other one. So, and so let me kind of step through this right now. So the get standard handle is something that will load in the EAX the handle of what we're looking for. So in this case, the output handle, meaning the console. And so when that runs, it loads in the EAX the value. And what we're doing is we're storing it in this variable so that later when we want to do things to the console, like here, we will display to the console using the handle that we have. So, you know, a whole bunch of objects have handles. And what we're doing is saying this particular object, which represents the console. And in terms of the running of the program, let me come back here and start to run it. In terms of the running of the program, that would be this console. So although I have the graphic looking like it's the monitor, it's really this piece here, this console that is running in the monitor. And so that handle that it just got, the output handle, is pointing to this console. So the next handle we're going to get is the input handle to represent the keyboard, which is when I start typing, is where those things will go in. We'll write to the console. That's this part that happened right here. What is the meaning of life? That was being displayed. And here, the read, this will now get from the keyboard what I type in. So I'll put here just one thing. It's a City Slickers reference. And I'll hit enter. And then what happens behind the scenes is after that is read in, the meaning of life is read in, it's going to open a file. So it's going to create a file. The way we refer to the file for the rest of the program after this point will be via the file handle. And the unlock here is really represent that the file is open. This is not a security thing. It's just, well, there is an aspect of security. There is a lock on that file so that other processes can't access it because we actually do have that. But to us, it's open, and we're able to then write things to it. So then this next line is the writing of the value, in this case, the meaning of life, just one thing, to that file. And then when we're done, we want to close the file. And again, it's not security, but there's the idea that we close the file. It's no longer open to us. So here, now we did have this message that came out saying, hey, we wrote the meaning of life to a file. That created the meaning of life.txt file that was here, which has in it the just one thing. So I know it's a long way to go just for the writing of a single file, but I was trying to illustrate here is the use of the handles. So we have a handle associated with the keyboard. And if you remember Java, system.in. We have a handle associated here with the console, system.out. Okay. And then just dealing with the file, we have a handle for the file. So dealing with objects on the operating system, now the chapter does go into dealing with things like Windows and some of the GUI, but the window would have a handle. And if we want to add something to that window, we would need its handle to then take an object which has a handle and put it onto the window. So it gets complicated. One of the demos that the author has that is in the Irvine library, I just didn't put it up on the site, is about 800 lines of code to display a very small window, GUI window on the screen. That's good enough.